We will officially open the building up on Sunday, May 24th. We are so thankful for our governor and his commitment to religious freedom. As you know, he's opened us up already, but we aren't quite ready because we do have to have some certain supplies. We have to follow certain protocol when we do come together. So we need these weeks to gather all of those supplies. But we will be sanitized and clean. We're going to clean in between the services. We're going to train our team, so we'll be ready for you. I want to share these things with you from the governor. He does say to encourage all attendees who are 65 and above to stay home and watch the services online. We're not going to force you to do this. It's up to you to make that decision on what you want to do. If you are sick or if you have underlying health issues, then you are also encouraged to stay home and watch the services online. Our ushers and greeters will have on gloves and masks, so prepare yourself for the way we're all going to look on that day. Our care, all of our children's ministry and youth ministry will remain closed until the first Sunday of June, which is June 7th. So on Sunday, May 24th, your children and your teenagers will need to be in the main auditorium with you. Everyone who comes in the building that day will have to sanitize their hands. We'll have sanitizer at the doors, so you'll do that as you're coming in, and you will have to put on a mask before you enter the building. They've asked us that family units sit together, and then that your particular family unit will social distance from the next family unit by 6 feet. And they're encouraging us to dismiss you by family unit. It's a little strange. We'll see how that goes on that day. But the point is to social distance. But if we're wearing our masks, if our hands are clean, the building is going to be clean, and it's going to be cleaned in between services, then we're going to be safe. We won't pass our offering buckets that day. We'll have a centralized location where you don't have to touch anything. You can just drop your offering in that way. And when we do have communion, we'll have a way to administer that, probably those individual packets where we don't all have to touch the same thing. But the point is, we get to be together again on Sunday, May 24th, and what a celebration that's going to be. But until then, we'll be right here online. We wanted to add this addendum to the announcements I recorded the other day. These recommendations are, of course, just that, recommendations for our governor for when we do open church. They aren't mandatory, but we as a church are going to follow these guidelines for this reason. On a scale of very afraid and not afraid at all, we have people all along that scale. We have a lot of people who are more on the fearful end, and then we have people like me who aren't afraid at all. But for these people's sake, I'm going to follow these guidelines because I want them to feel comfortable to come back to church. And so that's why we'll wear our masks and we'll sanitize our hands and we'll social distance, because we want everybody that's part of Harvest Christian Center to feel comfortable to come back to church. Another thing we did want to share with you, if we did open before May 24th, we would have to open at only 25% capacity because of the cases still rising here in El Paso. If we do that, we're going to have to turn people away at the door. We don't want to do that. We don't want anybody to get upset because they got up and then they couldn't come to church. We believe and we hope that if we wait until May 24th, the cases in El Paso will not be rising anymore. And if that's the case, then we can open at 50%. At 50% capacity with 2 services on a Sunday, we think we won't have to turn anybody away. And so May 24th will be a great celebration because we'll all get to be here together. Regarding the masks, while you're around people and in close quarters to people, that's really when you need to wear the mask. Once you get inside and you're seated in your place and you're 6 feet from others, you can take the mask off. In fact, for me as your worship leader, I want you to take the mask off because it's going to be really funny looking out at all of you with your masks on trying to sing. So we can, take our masks off. The masks are really for when we're in close proximity with one another, all right? So we thank you for being patient with us while we get all of the supplies we need so we can do this effectively, gloves, masks, hand sanitizer, and all these protocols in place so that everyone on that scale feels comfortable. Remember, Paul, the apostle himself, says, everything's permissible, but not everything's beneficial. And then Jesus says, to prefer others above ourselves. So that's what we're doing, thinking about others.